Today we're going to be talking about 10 reasons that you don't get any playtime. Now, reason number one is doing the little things like finishing through the line in conditioning. Guys, coaches pay attention to everything, especially high school coaches if you play at a high school level. They look for guys who are just getting through conditioning and guys who are actually competing and wanting to actually go hard in conditioning. Because guys, conditioning is beneficial for you. I know it sucks, I get it, it's hot, you have all the gear on, I totally understand. But it's not that long of a time. You're literally conditioning for maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes after practice, so make sure that you are paying attention to those little details like running full speed through the line and compete with your entire position group. There is no reason as to why you should not be first throughout your position group. I get it, if you're a lineman watching this, you're probably not going to beat the receivers. I understand, but there's no excuse to not compete and finish through the line on every single rep. Mistake number two, not knowing your playbook and not adapting to playbook changes every single week. A lot of guys just simply don't know their playbook, number one. So they're getting into the season and they don't have a full grasp of their offensive playbook, defensive playbook, whatever situation you're in. And it's terrible, you guys. You have to know what you are doing. A coach cannot trust you on the field to do a job if you don't know your job. You're not going to get by on just sheer athleticism, speed, or size. Now, here's another mistake that players make. They get very, very discouraged and like overthink it when a coach adds on a new play in the second, third, fourth week of the season. Guys, how football works is football is all about adjustments. That's that cliche phrase that everybody loves to say. And again, people make adjustments week in and week out. You're getting ready for a team that maybe comes out in a certain defensive coverage. Maybe your playbook changes a little bit. Be willing to adapt, because if you're not willing to adapt, the coaches can't trust you on the field to do a specific job. Now, fellas, if you're a quarterback or wide receiver, we are going to be coming out to 15 different cities across the U.S. from December all the way until July for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camp. So guys, check out that very first link in the description below if you would like to train with myself and my staff of coaches. Again, coming out to 15 different cities, some cities that we have never even traveled to before. So if you guys want to find out what cities we're coming to, how you guys can sign up, the dates, the locations, all that, check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you out to our 2-day-long QB and wide receiver camps. Now, mistake number three that people will make, which leads to no playtime, is not being strong enough. So you guys might be thinking, well, yeah, I'm not strong enough. That's why coach doesn't play me. I understand. Like, what can I do to get stronger? And a lot of times what guys do is that they skip reps in the weight room. I know how it goes, you guys, especially you high school athletes. It's in the summer. You have actual practice after the fact. So in the gym, maybe you're thinking, oh, I'm not going to go as hard, so I go harder on the field. And that's going to lead to a decrease in your strength. And that's going to lead to a decrease also in your size. Because guys, at the end of the day, you need to have strength to be able to play football at any position. You're a receiver, you need to be able to block. You're a quarterback, you need to have strength to throw the ball far. You're a lineman, D-lineman, all that stuff, pretty self-explanatory why you need strength. So make sure that you are not skipping reps in the gym. Because trust me, coaches notice that stuff as well. They notice if a guy's just standing around in the weight room way more often than he's actually working. So make sure to do every rep that the coach gives you to do, you make sure that you're doing it. Now, reason number four that you don't get any playtime is that you're not fast enough. Guys, at the end of the day, like, you need to have speed to especially play the skill position spots. So this is obviously not for linemen. This is mainly for like running backs, DBs, linebackers, receivers, maybe even some quarterbacks who are a little bit on the shorter side of things. And guys, the mistake that so many athletes make is that as soon as the season starts, they stop training. So maybe you were going to a speed coach, a track coach for the entire off season, and then football season comes around, and then you stop doing things that you normally were doing to sharpen your skills, to keep your technique tight, and your speed maybe starts to decline a little bit. You're a little bit more sore, you're a little bit beat up, maybe you're not doing things to take care of your body. Do not neglect speed and agility training or quickness training. Give me at least once a week outside of practice. Now, reason number five you don't get any playtime is you're not finishing plays. So what do I mean by finishing plays? I honestly mean, guys, like, let's say you're a receiver. I use the receiver analogy because I know a lot of you watching this are receivers. Let's say you run a perfect route, cook a defender, you're open, you're wide open by 20 yards, quarterback throws you the ball and you drop the ball. We cannot trust you on the field if we don't feel confident that you could finish the play and do your job. So if you're a receiver, guys, what I recommend before every single practice, get 50 reps in of catching. Work your hands, 10, 10, 10, 10 over this shoulder, 10 over that shoulder. Something that you could do to work on your hands and get those reps in so you could actually finish the play. Now, if you're like on the defensive side of the ball, offensive line, whatever, finishing your blocks, actually finishing to make a tackle, I'm not an expert in those positions, but I know that you guys need to finish. And if we can't trust that you're going to get the job done as coaches, we're not going to put you on the field. Now, reason number six that you probably don't get any playtime is that if you're an underclassman, you act like an underclassman. So what do I mean by that? I mean that you think that only the starters or the older guys on the team need to actually know the certain things about playbooks or certain things about certain plays, certain formations, etc. This was a mistake I made, you guys, personally. When I was a sophomore on varsity, I remember not knowing the entire playbook in its full. Like, I remember knowing the gist, probably 80% of it, and then there was 20% where I'm like, oh, well, I'm not on the starting group, so I don't really need to know that. And then when you get thrust in there, you guys, and you don't know what certain plays are, and freaking guys are coming at you like bullets trying to take your head off. I was a quarterback, so that's why. It's very, very scared. There is nothing worse than being unprepared. And as a football player, if you're a backup, you should never have that attitude that I'm a backup. You should have the attitude that I am one play away, so I want to make sure I'm prepared if I get my shot so the team does not miss a beat. So make sure, guys, don't act like an underclassman. Don't think that certain things you don't have to know because of your age. You should know every single intricacy of the offense and defense. Now, the next reason you do not get any playtime is you're overly concerned about coach playing favorites. So I get these messages, I get these comments literally every single day, multiple times a day. Coach, it seems like my head coach is playing favorites. It seems like he favors this other guy over me. I know I'm better than him. What can I do? You shouldn't be dwelling on that, you guys, because at the end of the day, you can't really control what your coach thinks or the decisions that he makes. What you can control is the attitude that you have, the effort that you put in, and you should focus on winning over the team. I've been in this situation before, you guys. Been started over by somebody, felt like politics were involved, but I can't worry about that. It's not my situation. What I focused on is day in and day out earning the respect of my team, earning the respect of the players around me, and honestly, like their parents as well, because they're gonna obviously talk to their parents about stuff that's going on at practice. And there was literally, like in my situation, just a revolt. And you don't want this to happen, but it can happen. Literal revolt at a coach's like booster club meeting where they're yelling at him, telling him to play me, give me a chance, give me this, give me that. And then what happens the next week? I actually get a chance because he doesn't want to piss off the people that fund the program. And that's kind of how it works, guys. Now, again, I understand you might be in a difficult situation. You might feel like coach is playing favorites. I get it, but focus on winning over the team. And the team usually makes that decision for the coach on who they want to be their guy. Now, also, fellas, if you play quarterback and you guys would like to learn how you can read defenses and read coverages, check out that second link in the description below where you could get access to over 500 different videos all about reading defenses. We break down each coverage on like a video screen. I draw on the coverage showing you, okay, this is this coverage, this is what you're looking for pre-snap, and then we talk about ways to beat that coverage, different play concepts, etc. So guys, if you want to improve your football IQ, check out that second link in the description below. Let's get back to this video. Now, the next reason that you don't get any playtime is because you missed practice and you fell behind on your plays. So I get it, guys. You know, like maybe in the summer you missed because of vacation. You know, maybe you were really, really sick and you had to miss practice. I'm not a fan of that. I think you should be there even if you're sick, unless you're like deathly ill. But you know, you missed practice, and you know, missing practice isn't, I guess, the end of the world. I personally think it should be. That's how you should treat it. But if you miss practice, don't fall behind on plays. Like, I'll give you a perfect example of when I was a coach on a coaching staff, right? So I coached high school ball for about a year, did not like it, hated it, wasn't for me. But I remember I missed a week of summer ball because before I got hired, I had a vacation plan like years in advance. So what I had told the coach staff was like, hey, listen, you know, as they were hiring me, I'm gonna be going out of town, so I just wanna let you know this. And they're like, yeah, that's totally fine. But what I did when I was gone is I made sure every single day when they uploaded the film, even on vacation, it takes 30 minutes, you guys. I was watching the film, figuring out what we did. I was staying ahead of things with the practice plan that we would upload to Huddle, so I didn't miss a beat. So when I came back to practice, I wasn't like, hey, what were we doing? What did we implement last week? And I had to panic and I had to play catch up. As a player, you should do the same exact thing. If you're missing practice, you need to make sure that you know what you guys are doing, know what you're going over in practice, maybe even working on some of the things that you worked on in practice by yourself on your own time while you were missing. But don't fall behind, and that's usually a big reason why guys don't play. Now, mistake number 9 that so many people make, reason why they don't play, is that they will not be at practice because of injury. If you're injured, I get it, guys. Injuries suck. They're not fun. But if you're not at the training room, like working with a trainer, so maybe your high school doesn't have this, but at least the high school that I played at, coached at, we had a trainer, right? There was an athletic trainer, and anybody who got injured, they were usually in there getting treatment. If they weren't getting treatment, your ass had to be at practice, or else coaches were going to be very, very upset. Now, let's say you hurt your knee, serious injury, whatever, but let's say you're not in the training room, and you just decide, oh, I'm not gonna go to practice because I'm hurt. What am I gonna do, just sit on the sideline? Yes, you need to sit on the sideline. You need to be there for your teammates, because coaches notice that. You need to be there to actually understand and take mental reps of the things that you are working on, so when you get healthy and you come back to the team, you don't miss a beat. But you guys need to be there if you're injured. If you're injured and you're getting treatment, that's one thing, but you need to be at practice, and that's usually a big reason why guys come back from an injury and they go, oh, I got injured, coach didn't play me. It's like, no, you weren't at practice. That's why we didn't play you. Now, reason number 10, you guys, bad grades. I can't tell you enough, having a high GPA has never hurt anybody. So you just gotta make sure that I guess you could say, utilize your time wisely. What do I mean by that? I think as guys, what we crave is like a schedule that we could stay on. I think things get very hectic, especially when school starts. Some of you might be in school watching this, and you know, you have classes all day, you have practice, you gotta get meals in, you have to do homework, you have to do all this. Make a schedule for yourself, you guys. I remember something I had a lot of success with when I was like a junior, senior in high school is I would literally map out my day by the hour. It'd be like 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'd be at school, and then it'd be like 2 to 3 practice. And you don't necessarily, maybe I'm not looking at that throughout the day, but at least when I go home and I see that written out, I know, okay, I'm on my schedule today. Oh, I need to do this. I didn't do that in the morning, and it's called time management, you guys. So you need to make sure that you have some type of time management strategy, like mapping out your day to the hour so you don't fall behind in the classroom, which can make you academically ineligible, which is a big reason why a lot of you don't play.